What I want you to do is to get your nunchakus out so we can work out together. I want you to use a lightweight pair, plastic foam, anything easy to swing. We don't want to be macho today. We simply want to get a feel for the rhythm of the techniques. If possible, narrow your cord between the two sticks to 2 inches or less. They'll be easier to swing that way. And later in the video, I'll talk about the best nunchakus to use for the style and where to get them. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is simply grip the nunchaku. Now, if you came up to me and I would shake your hands with the right hand, I'd put my hand out like that. And that's what we're going to do today. As you can see, and I'm going to move to the side so you can see the grip. And Bob, if you can get a close-up of that grip. We'll be gripping the nunchaku about midway up, not at the bottom and not at the top, but right in the middle. We'll have more control that way. So this is the grip we're going to be using today. Now, the first move we're going to do, and today as we're working out, I'm going to use a couple of stances. Like this is a left leg forward stance. And of course, this would be a right leg forward stance. And of course, this will be a horse stance. The idea is, I want you to get a feel for these stances because you'll use them later in some of the forms. We're going to start off with a left leg forward stance. And the first thing we're going to do after we've gripped the chuck is called the simple up. And all I'm going to do here is lift the chuck up over my shoulder and catch it with my left hand. Okay, this is pretty easy. So let's do a couple of those. Ready? Just lift it up and back. Up and back. Up and back. We're just catching it with the left hand. Great. That's called the simple up. The next move we're going to do is called the inward figure 8 block. And it looks like this. From under the arm, the right arm, the chuck's going to drop out and pull back toward me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a figure 8 pattern. And notice what I'm doing. I'm using my wrist to swing the nunchaku, and I'm not using my arm hardly at all. This is called the inward figure 8 block. Okay, so here's how we want to do it. You see the loose part dangling there? Watch. If I lift up on my arm, the chuck's going to do what? It's going to come right back to me. So watch. I just lift up. It's going to come back toward me. It's inward figure 8. So again, the dangling part there, if I lift up, the chuck's going to come back to my body. And what I'm trying to do here is to move it from side to side using my wrist, and again, my wrist, not my arm. Okay? So, to practice it, just let it dangle down, lift your arm up, and the chuck will come back towards you. Now, when the chuck is on the inside part of the swing plane, and at the bottom, we're just going to lift it up just like we did on the simple up. Okay, so let's let it dangle. Lift your arm up, the chuck will come back towards you. When you want to bring it up, you want to bring it up when it's on the inside and bottom of the swing plane. We just pull it right up, like the simple up. Okay, from this angle, watch. I'm going to drop it out from under my arm. You see it? I'm going to lift my arm up and it's going to come right back at me. And when the chuck is on the inside, bottom, I'm going to lift it up. Simple up. One time from this side. Watch, I'm just going to drop it out from under my arm. You see it? I'm going to lift my arm up and the chuck will come back at me. When I want to bring it up, I'll wait for it to be on the inside part of the swing and at the bottom, and I'll lift it up like the simple up. Now, the inward figure 8 block, you speed it up a little. You see, the block is designed to, if someone's coming at you with a punch or a kick or trying to get right up on you, this block will keep them off. This is called the inward figure 8 block. Okay, and it also will set up some strikes that we'll do next. Now, the next technique is called the outward figure 8 strike. From this position, watch. I'm simply going to lift the chuck up, throw it out across my body, doing a figure 8 to the outside. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it back, so it looks like this. All right, one more time, lift up and out. Now, how do you do that? Okay, watch. Take the loose part and dangle it to the right. Okay, you see the loose part? What I'm going to do is I'm assuming that I'm swinging out here and I want to bring it back. When the chuck is on the outside part of the swing plane, that last loop over, I'm going to pull my arm in and it'll pop right under my arm. So to practice this, you see that loose part? It's going to go over top and under the arm. Now, let me turn around. You can see what I'm doing from this angle. You see the loose part dangling there? I'm going to let it go around here and go under my arm. So when I'm throwing this outward figure eight, when the chuck is on the outside part of the swing, the last rotation over, I'm going to pull my arm in, and it will go right under the arm. So it looks like this again. You'll start your pull under the arm from the outside, so just let it dangle, let it loop over, and pull your arm in to practice it. And then, to do it, you're going to use your wrist again, not your arm. You see, it's all wrist. When I want to bring it under my arm, I wait for that chuck to be on the outside. And that last loop over, I'll pull my arm in and let it go. It pops right under the arm, pretty easy. This is the outward figure eight strike. So what we have here is the inward block and the outward strike. Okay, not too hard so far. The next technique we're going to do is called the front strike, and here's how it works. Again, from under the right arm, I'm going to pull that chuck straight out, and then I'm going to flick my wrist over to the left. I'm going to leave this arm up so I don't hurt myself. So it looks like this, straight out and across. Straight out and across. The wrist breaks, and the chuck's going to go back behind my body. This is called the front strike. And from under the right arm, it looks like this. Leave this arm up, nice and easy. Straight out and across. From the side, it looks like this, straight out and across. From this side, it looks like this, straight out and across. Okay, that's called the front strike. So what do we have so far? From under the arm, we have the inward figure eight block. Inside bottom, we're going to pull it up. Outward figure eight strike. Outside part of the swing plane, I want to bring it back. I'll pull my arm in, let that last rotation go under my arm. And then we got the front strike. Okay? Those are your first three techniques. The next technique is called the side swing. It looks like this. Watch. Up, lift the chuck. I'm going to do 1.5 rotations out here and bring it under my arm. So I'm going to lift it up. Watch. 1.5 rotations. To practice this, hold it out to the side and let it dangle. See the loose part? Let it come over and under the arm. Again, over and under. Now, here's how you do it. You lift it. You do 1 full rotation, and the other half just pops right under. Watch. Up, 1.5 rotations. Now, this is important. The outward figure eight strike is not the side swing. They're totally different. This is a side swing over here. See it? The outward figure eight strike is out in front. Great. So here's what I want you to do. Before we go any further, I want to switch to the left hand and try these techniques. Okay, left hand. The first move here is called the simple up. We're simply going to lift over our shoulder. Okay, let's try it again. Ready? Up, over, up, over, up, over. The next technique, again, we just practiced it a second ago. The inward figure eight block. From under the arm, the chuck drops out. You lift your arm up, and you go side to side with the inward figure eight block. When the chuck is on the inside bottom area, we can pull that up also, just like on the right side. Again, let me do it from the side. The inward figure eight, watch. The chuck, I just loosen my elbow, loosen out, and it drops. Okay, you with me? And I'm going to lift my arm up, and what is that baby going to do? It's going to come back at me. This is the inward figure eight, and I want to get it going in a figure eight using my wrist, and not my arm, just my wrist. When I want to pull it up, I wait for it to be on the inside bottom of the swing plane. I can pull it up. Okay, so from under the arm, it just drops out and comes back at you. When you're on the inside bottom area, pull it up. Now, the outward figure eight's the same on the left side as it is on the right. From this position, we're just going to lift, throw the chuck out across our body in a figure eight position. Now, when we want to bring it back, it'll be on the outside of the swing plane. To practice, let's hold the chuck up like this and watch. See the loose part? let's pull it up and let it land under the arm. Okay, you see it? Up, and it goes under. When you're doing this, again, you'll use your wrist and not your arm. When you want to bring it back, you wait for the chuck to be on the outside part of the swing. You'll pull your arm in, that last rotation up will come and land under the arm. So it looks like this. Okay? Let's try a few of those. All right, from under the arm, we're going to lift it. Outward figure eight, back under, lift. Outward figure eight, back under. Lift it again, outward figure eight, back under the arm. Okay, on the left side, from under the arm, we have the inward figure eight block, just like on the right. When I want to pull that up, inside bottom, up. Okay? Outward figure eight strike, when I want to bring that back under my arm, I'll start it when the chuck is on the outside, just like we practiced. That loose part, the last rotation over, we'll pop it right under the arm. And then on the left side, we're going to lift the chuck up. Remember the side swing we did on the right side? Same thing, 1.5 rotations and back under the arm. Up, 1.5, under the arm. To practice this, dangle the loose part, let it go over top, and bring it under the arm. Now, the side swing is up again, 1.5 rotations, back under. So, here's the good news. The good news is, all you'll need for today and possibly the next video are those 4 techniques on your left side. Okay, so if you can work your left side, the inward, the outward, the front strike, and the side swing, you're going to have it made. It's not that hard. Now here's an exercise I want you to think about in practice. Start on the right side, get in a nice stance, and do that inward figure eight block, the one that comes back at you. Lift it up and do the outward figure eight strike, catch it under, front strike, lift up, side swing. Great. Then we're going to lift it from here, and we'll repeat the same thing with the other side. Inward figure eight with the left hand. Outward figure eight. Front strike, side swing. Back and forth, okay? You need to practice that. But again, the good news is, don't get discouraged with your left side. These are the only techniques you'll really need for probably this video and the next video. Okay? Now, the next technique we're going to do is called the arm switch. Again, from this position, watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Under. How did I get it under my right arm? Side swing. Right? Okay. Arm switch again, watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Side swing under. Now, watch it, watch again, watch. 1, 2, watch 3. I turn loose of this hand and pull it all the way out across and catch it back here with my left arm. Then I'll turn loose of this hand and I'll just pull it right back up with my left. So let's try a few of those. From under the right arm switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and under the arm. Again, this is what it looks like from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back under. Okay, that's called the arm switch. The next technique we're going to do is called the round the neck. Here's what I want you to do. Take the chuck straight out. Okay, I want you to turn it around and put it right in your belly. Your knuckles will be pointing to your left. Now watch. Take the whole arm and go from side to side with it. Leave this arm up. This is the feel for the round the neck technique I want you to be doing in a few minutes. You'll be doing it in a few minutes. Okay, now watch. If you see the chuck going on the inside, my arm is moving it. This is what it looks like from this side. And this is what it looks like from this side. What I'm going to do is the left hand is going to go back behind my back and catch it like this. Then I'm going to turn loose of the right hand, bring it up and around my neck and catch it with the right. So it looks like this. Left hand behind my back and catch, up and around. This comes over top. This does not come underneath, okay? This comes over top, catch, and then bring it right back under the arm. Okay, let's do that again. Left hand behind your back, catch, turn loose to this hand. Now this arm comes up and just flips. This flips like that, right around, and this one comes over top and catches. That's called around the neck. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do what we call the side swing with around the neck. Okay, so here's what we'll do again. With the chuck under the right arm, I'm going to lift up again. I'm going to drop my elbow, and I'm going to throw a strike right across my body, right to the front. Up. I'm going to drop my elbow a little and throw a hard strike. Now, if you played baseball, it's kind of like that. It's like if the pitch was coming this way and you were, bam, hitting it. See, the wrist breaks, and the chuck goes all the way around my body. So from this position, I'm going to lift, drop my elbow, throw a big strike across. Now, what am I going to do from here? You see that I'm going to pull the chuck back with my arm. It's going to stay on the inside. Catch it, around my neck, and back. Watch. Up, strike, catch, and back. Okay, let's do that together. Ready? Let's try it. Up, drop your elbow, big strike here, breaking your wrist. Now the chuck is turned inside toward your body, right? We're going to pull it back around and catch it. Around the neck and come over top. Bring it back. This is what it looks like if I was facing this way. Okay, and from the side. Okay, that's called side swing with around the neck. The next technique we're going to do is called around the neck part 2. Here's what we want to do. Take your chucks and hold them out like this, and then point your knuckles to the floor. Okay? Now what we want to do is put them between our legs with our knuckles pointing to the floor. Left leg forward stance. What you want to do is turn loose of the right hand, bring it up and around your neck again with your left hand, and come over top and catch. So set them down under here with knuckles pointing down. Okay? Turn loose of the right hand, up and around with your left, come over top and catch. Okay? Now, how do we get down between our legs? From this position, we lift, we go down and catch, and around. Okay, again, lift, down and catch, and be careful, and around. Okay, that's called the round the neck part 2. One more time, let's try it. Lift, down and catch, turn loose, up and around, catch with the right, bring it back. Okay, now, the around the necks are a lot of fun, and they're basically, we use them in tournament forms to help us get a few points. A little faster, the side swing with around the neck looks like this. And around the neck part 2 looks like this. Okay? And what we're going to do in a few minutes, and I'll show you how we'll combine a few of those techniques to get you a few points when you're doing a form. Okay, here's a couple of things I want you to think about before we go into the basic combos I want to give you. Think about this. I'm up here, left leg forward stance, the chuck is under my right arm. What can I do? I've got 7 options. 7 options with the chuck under my right arm. I've got an inward figure 8 block, right? I can lift up and do the outward figure 8 strike, right? I got the front strike, remember that? And we also have lifted up and do the side swing. What else do we have? Oh, we got the arm switch. Good, get it back under the arm. We've got the cross side strike around the neck, lift it up, around the neck part 2. Wow, that's 7 items that we can do with the chuck under our right arm. So I want you to think about that. We'll be right back with some combos, basic combos that I want you to learn. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, I want to give you some basic combinations that I want you to practice. And here's what they are. Remember the first one? We've already done this once. Again, left leg forward stance. The first one we were practicing is the inward, outward, front strike, side swing. From here we're going to lift and repeat. Inward, outward, front strike, side swing, excuse me. The second one we want to do is this. From under the arm, all I want you to do is lift and do an inward figure eight block with the left hand. Lift, do an inward figure eight block with the right hand. And just repeat it over and over again till you're comfortable. And don't get discouraged. If you can't do one of these techniques, go to the next technique. And so we go back and forth. There's the inward figure eight block combo that you must do. The next one is from under the arm. We're simply going to lift, do an outward figure eight strike, lift, switch arms, outward figure eight strike, lift, switch arms, outward figure eight strike, lift, switch arms, outward figure eight strike, okay? That's the next combo, which would be the third one. So the fourth combo I want you to practice is this. Left leg forward stance and move the chucks over your left shoulder. Now watch. Outward figure eight, front strike, switch arms, side swing with around the neck, switch arms, right foot comes up to your left, pull the chucks down and prepare.